Aloha friends, this is Leviathan from BlizzPro, and I'm back in the PTR. I've got a new build for you guys. I'm calling this the Rock and Roll Barbarian. It's a combination of Raycore and IK with the new patch 2.2.0 that's coming up. The set's got crazy buffed, especially IK, and things are just looking absolutely insane. I wanted to get in here and test, and I think I found something that works pretty well, so let's get it right into it. Of course, you might see Furious Charge here. Naturally, again, it's iteration on Raycore from live and days old, so I have it on stamina right now because this is a physical build. And with Raycore, of course, the 4-piece, you get all of the rune effects. So you've got, Battering Ram, Merciless Assault, Stamina, Cold Rush, and Dreadnought. And what that basically means is you're going to be freezing stuff all the time, getting a ton of Fury back. You've got charges of it in case you don't have a ton of enemies around. Just lots of good stuff going on here. So that's pretty much the crux of the build. That's how you gain your Fury, and this is how you dump it. You're looking at this saying, what ancient spear Boulder toss? Like, who uses that? What is this? Yeah, this is the bad boy in this thing, because this is how you're going to dump all your Fury instantly. I was looking for a skill that had a really high Fury cost. This is the highest. It gets rid of all of it right away. And that works well with the new IK set rework, because when you want to keep up your Wrath of the Berserker to permanent, you need to dump your Fury as fast as possible. And since Furious Charge builds it up so quickly, you need a very, very fast way to get rid of it too. So this does it all in one toss. Also puts out some pretty sick damage too. You can see here, once you get into the other skills, Warcry with Impunity. I'm using that just to get a little bit more defense, a little bit more survivability in the build. I also like Invigorate, just to get the life up and a little bit more sustainability with the life regen there. But it kind of just depends on what you need at the time. You can see what gives you more toughness in your character sheet. Right now Impunity is doing that, so that's what we're rolling with. We've got Battle Rage with Bloodshed, another standard from, current Raycore days. This is just going to make it so that when you kill stuff or when you do some critical hits, there's just a ton of extra damage. And who doesn't love extra damage? So once you get your crit hit chance high enough, this makes perfect sense to throw in here. Plus Battle Rage in general just gives you some extra damage too, and extra critical hit chance. Just good stuff all around. Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity. I've got it on Insanity because, again, physical build, but there are new bracers introduced in patch 2.2.0 that actually give you every rune of Wrath of the Berserker. So let's take some time to break this down. You're looking at Wrath of the Berserker. It makes you immune to crowd control, so none of the enemies can jail you or fear you or any of that BS. And then, of course, you get the benefits like you see on screen: critical hit chance, attack speed, dodge chance, movement speed, and that movement speed actually lets you go above your cap of 25%. But then you get all these awesome runes as well. So this is actually on activation. You just do a crap ton of damage. This just makes your damage better. This one, some more critical hits doing damage for you. So it kind of lines up with the Bloodshed of Battle Rage. This is huge. 50% damage reduction. This is going to be what helps barbs, especially hardcore barbs, kind of climb into those higher, greater rifts. It's basically the Unity effect, but here on this rune. And of course, if you have a Unity as well, then you're going to benefit twice, but not double, so not 100% reduction, of course. I believe it's multiplicative. And then Thrive on Chaos, just some more sustainability. Spend all that Fury like we will with Boulder Toss, you get some life back. So awesome. And then Call of the Ancients, that ties right into the IK set. They'll last forever with you until they die. They do some extra damage once you get to that 6-piece of the IK set. So it's really awesome. I have it on Ancient's Fury here to kind of tie in, because there are those situations where there's not a lot of stuff around the Furious Charge. So you just want to make sure you do have constant Fury coming in so you can dump it out and make sure you get that Wrath of the Berserker cooldown down to nothing and keep it up permanently. You can also look at Council Rises. That's just your highest damage rune for Call of the Ancients. You can also get together as one for yet another 50% damage reduction. Pretty craziness. We're going to look at the passives here. Nerves of Steel. Barb's finally got a cheat death passive. Yes, this is excellent. There's a little shield that shows up to let you know your duration before that 95% reduced damage effect goes away. So it works pretty well. 60-second cooldown, not too shabby once you've triggered it. Rampage just works, again, when you're clearing out all the trash super quickly, as Raycore does. You'll just have this buff up pretty much the entire time. So you'll be benefiting from about 25% extra strength for 8 seconds, and it refreshes itself every time you kill an enemy, so it's really good. Boon of Bul-Kathos, just to bring that cooldown down. For Call of the Ancients of Wrath of the Berserker. It might not even be necessary just because you really do get Wrath of the Berserker back super quickly with Boulder Toss. It takes about 2 Boulder Tosses from full fury before you actually can use Wrath of the Berserker again, and you're like halfway into the duration of Wrath of the Berserker by the time that usually happens. And then Superstition, of course. In those really high greater rifts, this is going to be a bit of a lifesaver, because the thing that'll hurt barbs the most is those elite affixes, that orbiter, that electrified, etc. So this is going to help to mitigate against that, and it has the bonus of giving some extra fury. But there's also considerations to be made. Maybe you use Brawler in like T6, because you're just going to be furious charging around the whole map, and even when you get down to the greater Rift Guard, or to the regular Rift Guardian, it's a joke. You one-shot him, so no big deal. Let's look at the gear. I'm looking here. We got Raycor's shoulders. I'm going with Strength Vit, All Res, and then some Call the Ancients damage. You can also possibly take life percent. Kind of depends on what your needs are. The other Raycor pieces, we've got the chest, Strength Vit, and life percent. And I'm taking the boots as well, with their Strength Vit, All Res, and movement speed. You could think about using possibly life regen instead of movement speed. Depends again, you know, sustainability. And even on the chest, you can think about maybe All Res. I got the lucky advantage of getting some melee reduction in that secondary slot, which is cool. You can also think about reduced damage against elites. That's also a very strong affix. But the really interesting thing about the way that this build works, the way that this setup works, you notice that the IK set we're taking to 6 pieces, and Raycor we're only actually taking to the 4-piece bonus. You have 2 pieces of IK. We have the belt here with Strength Fit, All Res, and life percent, pretty standard. And then you have the IK Boulder Breaker. And you're like, why aren't you using a furnace? Why aren't you using something cooler that's better? Look at that Call of the Ancients damage, 94%, and it ranges from 75 to 100. It's huge. And of course, the only thing that'd be better here is if this were Ancient. But yeah, these 2 pieces here means that you have some flexibility in gearing, because Raycor doesn't overlap with them, and then Raycor has shoulders, which IK doesn't. So that means of the other remaining pieces here, you can kind of mix and match whichever pieces you need to get you to your bonuses. So if you have better Raycor gloves, then you might take you know, the Raycor gloves, but then you take an IK chest or something, etc. So we'll look at the IK pieces, pretty standard. Strength Vit, critical hit chance, and a socket. We're looking at Strength Vit, crit hit chance, crit hit damage. I don't think you need CDR, so it's good to get the Vit here. Like, you really, like, everything is just reduced down. The Wrath of the Berserker, which is the most important cooldown, just coming back so quickly. I really don't think you need CDR on gear. What else? Oh, we have IK pants, which they actually added in this patch as well. And that's pretty standard. Strength Vit, All Res, some sockets. Actually put the 2 pickup yard radius on there just for that, you know, ease of walking around the map and having to be right on top of the orbs and stuff. Let's go to the bracers next. These are the new bracers I was talking about that give you every Wrath of the Berserker rune. I'm going again physical build, so we got the physical damage on there, and actually nothing has been re-rolled. So if we wanted to convert this to a lightning build to maybe get the rune where you get the damage reduction on the Call the Ancients, it's a potential thing you could do here. You just have to reroll physical to lightning, and you would need an amulet with lightning as well too. But here I got lucky with the physical one, and I love the Eye of Etlich. That secondary reduced damage from range attacks is just so good. Most of the elite affixes qualify as ranged, so this is just going to give you even more sustainability against the most dangerous attacks in the game. So it's really good. And then of course, Ring of Royal Grandeur, absolutely mandatory since you're working with 2 sets here. I actually, you know, it's PTR, so I couldn't really farm and flip games too much, so I got lucky, just got this one Ring of Royal Grandeur. I'm not even sure it would change much on it, just roll the attack speed off to get the socket. And then a Unity, which is pretty standard, of course, for those higher greater rifts, get that damage reduction with the Unity and Follower Can't Die token. Here I just, you know, rolled for some critical hit damage, took the strength off of it. It came with a natural socket, which was amazing. Hopefully we'll get that critical hit damage a little bit higher. I think that's pretty much what I want to do with that. And then the gems. We've got a gem of Efficacious Toxin here, and that synergizes pretty well with our Call of the Ancients because they get that 10% increased damage since they're another source. We have a Bane of the Trap, standard of course, one of the best gems in the game. So when your Fury is charging around, you're just getting that extra boosted multiplier. And then the other dot gem we have the pain enhancer, and of course, since this is a physical build, this ties in even nicer. You get some boosted damage on your pain enhancer. And that's pretty much it. You can see fully buffed. We're looking at 1.3 damage, 1.3 mil, 69 million toughness, which is just insane, 932,000 life. And I mean, this isn't even, you know, Paragon 340, so there's more to do here. Hope you guys will try this build out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, see you in patch 2.2.0.